Hey HU Crafty Club. Now we're going to move on to our peppermint striped soap. So what you're going to need is you're going to need the clear soap base. You're going to need the white soap base. You're going to need your soap coloring. You're going to need molds. So you have round and you have rectangle, so you can use whichever ones you want. You also need your peppermint fragrance oil, the clear, and you're going to need your alcohol spray bottle. And then I'm going to also use a pipette. This is how I'm going to put my fragrance in. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so gotta pop in again. We had a lot of technical difficulties this month with video footage, computers breaking down, all kinds of stuff, y'all. So I'm doing the best that I can here, y'all. So there's a couple pieces that I just wanted to explain before we get into this project. One, we have 4 separate cups, and in each of the cups we'll have soap. So we'll be melting soap 4 times in this video. We're going to be working layer by layer on this soap, okay? Something that's super important that I just want to make sure is super clear is that we're going to be using the spray bottle with alcohol in it. That does 2 things. One, it pops the bubbles that's in the soap so that you have a nice smooth top. But also 2, it helps make the soap a little tacky, so when you pour the next layer on, it helps to give it better adhesion. Okay, so this way, hopefully, when you're using the soap, it won't like break into 2 pieces and you're like, my red separated from my white. Instead, hopefully, everything will stay together. So for each cup, you're going to have about 2 ounces of soap in it. For the clear soap, it's about 2 pieces of that clear soap, the way that it's cut. And for the white soap, it's actually about 2.5 pieces. So you may have to grab a knife and cut one of those chunks in half in order to accomplish this, okay? Now, in each cup, when it is time to add the fragrance oil, you're going to add 2 milliliters of the fragrance oil. So in total, there's going to be about 8 milliliters, but we're dividing it up amongst all 4 cups. Now, in the written instructions, we start with the clear layer. In the video, unfortunately, we start with the white layer. That's going to be something that you'll just have to maneuver. It really doesn't matter which layer you start with as long as you alternate. Oh, one more thing that I want to share is that when you're using the soap color, we're only adding the soap color to the clear base. I made the mistake of adding it to my white base, and that was an accident. I had to start over. So just make sure that you're only adding the soap colorant to the clear base. Okay? Okay. Making it work, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the project. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to melt our soap base. We're going to do each cup individually. In the first cup, we're going to do our white soap base. There's about 2.5 pieces, which is about 2 ounces. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop that into the microwave for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, we'll take it out and give it a stir. If it is not fully melted, we'll put it back in for 15-second increments until it is fully melted. So the next thing that we're going to do now that our white is fully melted is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our peppermint fragrance oil. To add the fragrance, we're going to use our pipette to add in 2 milliliters of peppermint. Once we add the peppermint in, we will stir to make sure that it is fully combined with the soap. At this point, you can go ahead and pour thin layer into each of your molds. Since we're making 2 bars of soap, you can eyeball it. You want to pour about half into each of the molds. After you fill your molds, spritz them with alcohol to remove any air bubbles and pop it in your fridge for a few moments to let it get hard. Before moving on to the next layer, you want to make sure that the soap that's in the mold has a nice firm layer on top. The next thing you'll do is you'll go ahead and you will melt down some clear soap. You're going to melt about 2 ounces of clear soap, which is about 2 cubes. And once that's melted, you'll add in 2 milliliters of peppermint fragrance oil and you'll add in your color. Stir it until that is well combined. And then you're going to add this layer right on top of the first layer. Now, make sure before you pour this layer on that you spritz your soap with alcohol one more time. After you pour the next layer of soap on, once again, you want to spritz it with alcohol to remove the bubbles and then pop this in the refrigerator again. So at this point, you're basically going to repeat the process again. You'll spray your soap with alcohol. You'll repeat the process with white, and then you'll repeat the process again with the red. So after that last spritz of alcohol, you can just let it sit and let it cool down, or you can pop it into the fridge to let it cool completely.